Hello everyone. So today I will be explaining the setting up of a Jupyter notebook that is given by Tau Toolkit. Tau Toolkit is provided by NVIDIA and it has lots of models. So we'll be looking at requirements in the documentation. So there is hardware and system configurations which are recommended, that is given as shown in the documentation. So there are some software requirements. So Ubuntu is mandatory to use Tau Toolkit. So at least a 20.0 version is recommended. So we also have Python, Docker, CE, NVIDIA Container Toolkit, container runtime, and all of these things that I mentioned. So in order to get started, we need to download the Jupyter notebook with the link that is given in the getting started. But in order to do that, we will need a lot of things to set up. So we will be doing that today. Websites are very well mentioned in the documentation. The documentation is really good. It helps us navigate a lot of things. So this is the main thing. First of all, we need to install a Docker CE, which is the link is given there. As you're using Linux, I have already installed Ubuntu on my Windows. So we'll be doing all the installations for Linux. We will be going for Ubuntu, and inside that we have our installation commands that are given. Simply running these we'll be installing using apt repository. So simply running these commands will help you install the Docker. It is pretty simple and everything is very well mentioned here. If you run into commands, do a basic Google search, you will find a solution. That is how I did. So I have already installed Docker. So before making the video, I had already checked everything, so I have installed it already. It is loading. We'll be waiting for a while. I'll be checking the version. So Docker version 26.0.1 is what I have installed. So the requirement was 20 and I have 26, so that's pretty good. So there is also post installation steps that are given. That is because for the Docker to run, we need sudo command, but in order to run it without sudo, we will need to run the Docker daemon as a non-root user. So for that, we have these commands. Simply copy paste these commands in your Ubuntu terminal and you should be able to run hello world with Docker without having to use sudo. I will be showing a demo of this. So there we go, we have hello from Docker. Now we go back to our documentation. In the documentation, the next step is to get install NVIDIA container toolkit. So I have also already installed this and made everything, set up everything, but I'll be showing what I did. So I installed with apt. So all the commands are very clearly given in the documentation. If you run into errors, simple Google search and going through basic browsing can help solve the errors. So this is the main code that will help you install the container toolkit. After doing that, we have to get an NGC account and generate an API key. For that, first of all, we will sign up for an NGC account. I have already signed up. So first of all, we'll be signing in. In order to sign up, as I have already signed up, you need to provide basic information about yourself and the organization, and that will be an easy sign up process. So after logging into my NGC account, all the models and the API key are generated. All the models can be seen through this, and the API key is also generated in the NGC account. First of all, we need to sign in, and after signing in, we need to create an account, sign up, create an account and sign in. and then we need to docker login nvcr.io. This will help us enter into our ngc account through our ubuntu terminal. So in order to do that, first of all we will generate first of all we will download the ngc cli, and then we will generate the API key. So here, this is the ngc cli documentation. It is very important, if while doing any kind of work, to browse the documentation very well and understand the basic workings, because pretty much everything is clearly written in the documentation for the most part. So I'm just browsing through this CLI documentation, trying to figure out things. I don't think I'll be able to there is a link to download anything, so we'll go to downloads. Here we have all the download options for Windows 32, 64, and then since we're using Ubuntu, we'll go for the Linux option. So here we have all the CLI installation files, and here we have how to install this thing on our Ubuntu. So using these commands we can simply install. I have already installed it, so I might run into some errors, I don't know. So now I will be generating the API key that is required to log in into our nvcr.io website from the Ubuntu terminal. So in order to do that, we will go back to setup and we will go to generate an API key. From this we can easily generate an API key as such. So this is your username and password. Make sure your password is secure. Now I will be logging in into my nvcr.io using docker login nvcr.io. I'll be using the username and password that are generated while generating the API key. I'll be hiding this password for now. So it is necessary that you do that. After doing that, after running bash setup quick start launcher and installing this and upgrading the launcher version is done. After logging into our nvcr.io account, now we have to install the tau launcher. In order to install the tau launcher, we need to use these commands that are given. We need to install the CLI launcher using the quick start script downloaded with getting started ngc package. This is the command, which is bash setup quick start launcher .sh dash install. So I will be doing that. Now we will be running the Jupyter notebook. We will be downloading a model and we will be running a sample Jupyter notebook. So these are all the models that are these are computer vision models that are given by Tao Toolkit. There are plenty of different kind of models. Make sure that you read the documentation well, because some of the models are depreciated. For example, the conformer model is no longer available, so make sure you look into that before using or downloading a model. So we will be listing the model list using this command, which is again given in the documentation. So these are all the models that are given inside the Tahoe Toolkit container, and in order to download this, you can either go with the thing that is given here, you can copy and paste that, or another option. So another way to download a model is to directly copy the link from the NGC account. So you can go into your NGC website and sign in, and then you can browse all the models that are made available by the Tao container toolkit from there, and then you can directly copy and paste those links. So we are logged in. So after logging in, we can search for models. We can go in the model section and go for any model that you're trying to use. Make sure the models are not depreciated, because if that happens, it can be difficult, because when things are depreciated, they're no longer available, or you have to either go down to the version of the lower versions of Tao. So some other problems can be encountered from that. So make sure they're not depreciated. So after copying and pasting that link, we have our downloaded our Jupyter notebook. Now in order to access this notebook, all we have to do is run this command Jupyter notebook on our terminal, and then we will be given this link, and simply going to this link will take us to the Jupyter notebook that we just downloaded. So